Hi, Lena. Hi, Susan. Sorry, the kids were just late going upstairs. I hope this lighting is okay. See this lamp? I can never get it right. Okay, so I have you guys on my phone and on the laptop. You might still hear the kids. My husband's putting them to bed right now. It's been a late night because it's the weekend. How is everybody? I'm wearing Christmas jammies because they're the coziest jammies that I have. And then I asked my husband to make me a cup of tea, and he brought through a Christmas mug. Hi, Ruth. So, yeah, we've got the Christmas vibes going on. I need to change it so that the chat is all of the comments and not just. There we go. Perfecto. Hi, Odd. It's just me in this chat. Yeah, my husband is the best. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Ella. How is everybody? Have you had a good? What have you been doing for the weekend? I'm just trying to remember and drink this while it's still hot because I'm really bad for talking and then not drinking it, and I only like it when it's just been poured. Yeah, it's been a busy weekend, I think. I'm trying to think what I did yesterday. I say it's been a busy weekend. I didn't actually do much yesterday. So in the morning, my husband was at like a Pokémon card tournament. So he was there, and so I was just home with the kids. And then what did I do? I don't know where the afternoon went. It just kind of disappeared. And then, sorry, I don't know if you guys can hear the background noise. You've seen the size of my house. There is no area of my house I can go where there isn't noise when people are here. But they'll be going to bed, like they're getting ready to go to bed now. Yeah, and then in the evening we went out for dinner with my in-laws. So we did that. We've not seen them very much this year. Oh, that's good. I'm glad you can't hear the background noise because I can hear it. And then today we've been on a free clean, me and Danielle. So the reason I'm going live is because I don't have a video for you guys. I have done some of my kitchen twice and I've recorded it, but then by the time I speed it up, it's about 14 minutes and there's no like end result because I just didn't finish. But what I'm going to do is Kai's back at school tomorrow. Everybody else will be in childcare and work. So it'll just be me in the house in the morning. And I've got a tradesperson coming in the afternoon or slash evening because I figured I can't do that silicone around my bath because the gap between the taps and the wall is too tight. I'm not going to be able to get in there. So I don't know if somebody's going to need to use a special tool or like remove the tap. Same with like around the shower screen. But I need the, like when I tried to clean it, it didn't clean. So they're gonna have to remove it and then fix it. And then there's like other odd jobs around the house. But my plan is, so this is like a new business and it's like Fife Handyman services. Now, me and Danielle are thinking, you know, let's try and get more tradespeople involved with our free cleans because there's a house that we've done one visit, but we're going to need to do like multiple visits to this house. And there's a lot of like DIY stuff that needs done. So we're going to try and like get people on board. So when he's here at my house tomorrow, he's not coming to do the job, he's just coming to quote the job. And I'm going to be like, look, I'll be a repeat customer. Me and my husband are not DIY people at all. Like, if it comes to it, I'm the one that has to do it. He definitely doesn't have any DIY traits. So I'm like, I have a lot of things that need done in my house. I need walls repapered. I need holes filled in. I could probably do that, but give the local people work. Anyway, so I'm like, I'll be a repeat customer. And then I'm going to say to him, how would you feel about being recorded for my YouTube channel? Because he's so new, I thought if he comes and does work for my house, obviously I'm not expecting any money off for it or anything, but do the work. And if you don't mind being recorded, I'll record you. You guys get to see it because it'll be on my channel, but also then I can leave a review on his page and say, anybody else that wants to see his work, check out this video, and then that'll be like free promotion for him. So that's what I'm hoping. And then that might convince them, you know, oh, this YouTube malarkey is quite good. Yeah, I'll come and help you out on your free cleans. That's the plan, the mastermind. There's a hair on my cup. It's annoying me. Okay. Anyway, got sidetracked there. No idea what any of you guys have been saying. Sorry, just seeing who's in here. This cup, I don't actually like this cup. It's really hard to hold. Like, I can only hold it by the handle. There we go. Yeah, my shoulder is still sore, but it has settled down. So it's this shoulder. I find like if I have really bad posture. I'm just trying not to spill this tea. I have really bad posture. So I notice I hunch a lot, and also like the way I bend and stuff isn't great. So I look like I have a hunchback all the time. But when it gets painful, I'm like, okay, if I try and correct my posture and hold the shoulder back a little bit, it kind of eases off. But then I get like more pain down the back. So it's like I have to try and figure it out. So every so often I just have to like loosen it up a bit, but it still hurts to like have it up a lot. But I reckon I'm going to try and wash my hair tomorrow because it does need done after the clean today. I was going to do it today, but I ended up going in the bath when I got in because there was nobody at home because my daughter was at a birthday party and my husband and my son were with her. So when I got home, I got in the bath and then I just couldn't get out of the bath for like 3 hours. I just kept adding hot water and I was like, okay, I need to get out. And then if I wash my hair at night, I can't go to sleep with wet hair because first of all, it's just gross. I don't like doing it. But also my hair just goes really greasy. And so I'm like, I don't have it in me to wash, dry and straighten my hair or whatever. So I can only wash my hair in the morning or during the day. So I'm going to try that tomorrow. So yeah, my shoulder is still sore, but it's not as bad. And I'm not taking, I had codeine this morning because I knew I was going on a clean, but I'm actually not feeling too bad now. I've just been taking some ibuprofen. Wait, who's microwaving tea? I mean, I've done it, but it's not as nice as a fresh cup of tea. Potting runner beans, cracking on with the wedding quilt, and nursing a stinking cold. Well, I hope your cold feels better soon. By the way, the handyman guy just messaged me. I'll need to see what that says after. Yeah, Kai is back to school tomorrow. He is not contagious. Technically, when I took him to the doctor on Wednesday, it was the nurse. The nurse said he's not contagious, but I didn't believe her. So I've just kept him off all week. He's not really had much of an appetite. Oh, it wasn't a cup of tea. It was your dinner. Okay. Hi, I see you in South Africa. I can't remember your name though. I'm so bad with names. Yeah, so the free cleaning that we did today, that'll be released next weekend. No, Keo, you're not that late. We've just started. Have I tried the magnesium spray yet? No, right? And do you know why? First of all, I'm glad you were with me when we bought it because people recommend me things and then like immediately I forget them. So if you weren't with me, I wouldn't have remembered to buy that. But also the bag of shopping is still sitting in my hallway. So I've not gone through it yet. But yeah, I will try. If I remember, if you remind me again near the end of the live, when we log off, I'll go and try it. I need to see how it'll react to my skin as well. Like my hand is flaring up a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see that on my here on the palm. That's the bit that always cracks open. And it's like it was cracked open, it's healed, but now it's like a layer of skin has come off. Sorry, that's really gross to talk about. But so my hand keeps sweating. So when I was on the clean today, in some of the footage you'll see me wearing gloves, and then in other footage I'm not wearing any because it was just the chemicals in the water were less than the sweat from the gloves, if that makes sense. I need to watch your latest video. Where has April gone? Don't, by the way, because I have an exam in like, I want to say a week's time or 2 weeks time. And luckily, I think I told you guys that I was panicking because I have a lot of exams when I'm supposed to be on holiday, and they weren't going to defer them for me. They've done it, thank God. I basically broke down and was like, no, I need this holiday. And to be fair, when I booked the holiday, the semester dates for the year were like different. It was based on the dates last year that when I booked it. But then they did like a poll around the university to change the date. So we got an extra 2 weeks holiday during the term, but it pushed the exams back by 2 weeks, which happened to be when I had booked the holiday. Because originally when I booked it, that would have been the end of the exam period. So it was their fault. I know. The year is flying by. Like, I actually can't believe it's April already. And you know what? I always find the second half of the year goes faster for me because that's when all my kids' birthdays are and Christmas and, you know, the start of the school year and all of that stuff. My youngest is going to school in September. No, in August. And I'm just not ready for it. Absolutely not ready for it at all. I came across a forge. You know how you get Facebook memories, if anybody still uses Facebook. And it was a memory from today from sorry, from 4 years ago. And I was so skinny. And you know, it was like, I want to say this is the 4th month. It was only 5 months after I had my youngest, and I was so skinny. I'm just very jealous. Usually I look back at photos and I'm like, oh, I wish I was as fat as what I thought I was back then. So, you know, you always think like you're overweight, and then you see a photo 4 years later and you're like, oh, yeah, I was not overweight at that time. Did Danielle manage to wash your hair for you? I hope so. She did. Yeah, it was so nice as well. So she washed my hair on, I think it was Tuesday. Might have been Wednesday. Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it was Tuesday, because then we went and did a clean on Thursday. And usually after we do these kind of cleans, I have to like immediately wash my hair when I get back because the smells linger. But the house wasn't smelly, which I was grateful for. I mean, there was one room, but I wasn't in that room. So there was no smells that lingered in my hair. So I was like, okay, because I hate having to wash, like sometimes I'm like, oh, I need to wash my hair, but I'm doing a clean in a day or 2 days. I'm like not going to wash it just to have to wash it again. So yes, I think it was the Tuesday, and then we did the clean on the Thursday. My hair was fine. I was like, okay, I'm going to leave it. And then we just did a clean today. So now I need to wash it. Yeah, so I've heard that because the nicotine suppresses your appetite. I've never been a smoker, right? But I have smoked socially in social situations, but only like not nicotine. Just admitting that. But this was years and years ago, and I don't know how I did it because of my asthma. And it was funny because when I was a teen, do you know how everybody like tries stuff in their teens? I never really did that, but I remember I was at my auntie's house once with like all my cousins and their friends, and they were all drinking and smoking. And they were like, oh, I bet you wouldn't be able to smoke. And like I picked up the cigarette. Well, I think it was so I don't know what other people call this in other countries, right? But here, if you like roll tobacco, then it's either called a roll up or a fag, or it's not called a cigarette because the cigarettes are the ones you buy. So I don't know what other people call it, but so I picked up what they had and smoked it and did not choke, and it was my first ever time like inhaling anything like that. And they were like, oh, how did you not like die? I was like, I have no idea. What is my favorite creative thing to do? Oh, so I really like cross stitch, you know, sewing, but I don't do it very often because the repetitive motion hurts my wrists. Oh yeah, so Danielle used to smoke, and obviously she's quit for a while now, and then so now she just vapes. So yeah, so the sneak vape in the April Fool's video, that was a big hit. I've never tried edibles, but I have always wanted to try, just between us. That's not to say I will, but I am a curious person. Do you know, I do think that obviously it took them so long to figure out what was wrong with smoking and the damage that it caused, that I'm scared what they're going to say about vaping in like X amount of years, especially because of the number of young kids that you see vaping. I've never managed to knit. I tried once. I don't have the patience for knitting because I lose the I don't even know what it's called when it comes off, and then the whole thing is ruined. But no, I started cross stitching when I was quite young. It was something my mum liked to do. I don't think it's unusual to have never tried it. I'm hoping none of my kids try it. Well, between us, my daughter Madison, she already tried vaping. That was a big thing when I found that out, by the way. Totally forgot what I was saying before that. Try crocheting. It's something I've wanted to try. All right, so since I suck at knitting, I can probably do crochet then. Do you know what I think? I think the reason that I get so much like pain in my hands is from holding my phone so much, because I use my phone for editing, I use my phone for scrolling, texting, all the usual stuff, and so I think it's a repetitive strain injury. But then I get it in both hands, so maybe not. Oh, that's what I was saying about cross stitch. So I started cross stitch really young. Sorry, I'm looking over here because the laptop's here in case anybody joined late and doesn't know why I'm like looking over here at the comments. Yeah, I started really young, and then I remember when I was in middle school, so I'm going to say I was 11 because that's how old I am for every childhood memory, but I actually think I was about that age. So yeah, and I remember, I don't know how it came up at all, but I was in the dinner queue and I got talking to one of the dinner ladies about cross stitch. No idea how that even becomes the conversation that a child and a dinner lady have. Anyway, it turns out she was cross stitching and she was so good. So me and her started like a cross stitch club at the school. This is how cool I was in school, guys. So we started a cross stitch club to teach other people how to cross stitch. It was fun. Do you know, I can't wait till, I mean, I can, because I don't want to wish my children's lives away, right? But see when they've all flown the nest and I just can turn their rooms into like giant craft rooms and stuff. Just watch this space. I'm going to be so crafty. Did I think about being on YouTube for a long time before actually starting my channel? And was Five Free Cleaning my idea or Danielle's? So no, I didn't think about it for a long time because I'm very impulsive. And so usually when I have an idea, I just do it. But I had thought about it for a little while. So with my own house, so I'm getting a bit stuffed up. With my own house, I had thought about recording myself, but for my own benefit rather than to share, so that I could see progress, because I was too embarrassed to share my own house. So I tried to like record a video once of me cleaning under my couch and I sucked at it. It was so bad. Like all you seen was my back the entire time. Do you know, right? Side story. I tried to record Christmas once, right? I think it was not last year, but the year before. And I set the camera up in the corner of the room. But obviously, because where it was, I couldn't see the screen. So I didn't know. I just assumed it was catching the entire room. It was facing the wall the entire time. So I didn't get any of it except the audio. I'm going to try again this year. But yeah, so I had tried to do my own house, just recording, realised I really suck at recording and kind of gave up on the idea of doing it. But then, and sorry if you've heard this story before, for anybody that has been in a live on the other channel and has heard the story, but for Fight Free Cleaning itself, I had my mum group of friends around at my house, and they were helping me deep clean my house because it was in a good place. Like, the house was spotless because I was getting a assessment done by social work to see if I could be a special guardianship for my brother. But I have like really high anxiety when it comes to, first of all, social work, because that's a whole story, but then also like my house and people coming to my house when it's a mess, because I don't normally get visitors. So I'm just like, it's okay when it's a mess normally because nobody comes here. Sorry if you heard that notification. So anyway, so my mum friends came around to help me deep clean. And while we were doing that, I was like, it's a shame that, no, actually the first idea was this, it was really easy to do it when we were all together. So I had says, oh, we should all go to each other's houses, just like one day, 1 week, and everybody do everybody else's house. And everybody was like so for that idea. But then the only person that followed up on that was another friend. I don't want to name her, but another friend who I went round and helped her clean her house twice because she moved house. So I helped her first with her room, and then she moved house, then I helped her with that. But then none of the other mums like needed help or followed up on that. And then there was another occasion when Danielle was round helping me, and I had said, oh, it would be nice if other people had this, because obviously I got that support from all my friends, but a lot of people don't have that. And so that's when I said to Danielle, I was like, oh, do you want to come and clean houses with me for free for people who don't have this? And she was just like, she loves cleaning, she's got OCD, and she was just like, yes, I am for it. And that was before she knew that I wanted to do it for YouTube, because I had already followed all of the YouTubers. I always say Ari Katerina was first, but actually I think I've seen Living with Cambria's Helping Hand series before I ever seen Ari Katerina, but I could be getting that mixed up. But anyway, so then I just said to Danielle, let's do this. And she was like, okay. And then literally like not even a month later, I was like, okay, we're all set up. I've made the channel, I've got the insurance, I've created the post on Facebook. Like, we've got people lined up who want to do this. Let's do it. And then that's how the channel started. And then I came across Beth, Feral Tradwife, and I just feel like she's my soul sister. I watch her and I'm like, you are me. That's my life. Like, everything she says is so relatable. And I've always been too embarrassed and shy about putting up my own house, but the where my house is at now is not as bad as it used to be. Like, I have come a long way. So now I feel a little bit more comfortable sharing that with you guys. So anyway, I was inspired by Beth to start my own channel. So long story short. Short story long, as Kimberly Whisk says. Okay, was not listening to any of those comments. Yeah, Keo, a room for crafts, a room for projects, and even a room for to-dos. I don't know if I would be that organised. One of the rooms would need to be a library, come on. Our daughter and grandson are moving out, and I will finally have a space to put my crafts in one room. Yeah, at the minute my crafts are kind of scattered around the house. Like, I have diamantes, I have cross stitch, colouring books, scrapbooks. I don't even know what else. They're all a lot of them are in those cubes. Yeah, Danielle was like, yes, that's my calling. I've never actually watched Fly Lady, but I did watch what was she called? It was like The Awesome Mom. No, The Awkward Mum, or That Awkward Mum, something like that. I watched her a few years ago. I think I heard Beth say something about her having her own cleaning thing now, but when I watched her a few years ago, she was going through all of the different cleaning, I don't know what they're called, techniques, programs, plans, I don't know. But anyway, so she tried the Fly Lady method, and I watched it, but I can't follow things like that. Like, it's too much structure. Like, I don't know how to, it's like I don't like being told what to do. Unless I'm on a clean with Danielle and I'm just not feeling that, I'm like, okay, you're gonna need to tell me what to do today. I can't think. You need to just point me in a direction. But she wouldn't be at my house telling me what to do in that case. I can't just follow, like, when it says you have to like wash your dishes and make your bed and all of this stuff, and that's just the basics, and then you have to do all the other things. I'm like, sometimes I can only do the basic. I can't even do that sometimes. So yeah, I'm gonna check out the Awkward Moms like system, and I'll see what it says, because if it is like super flexible, then that might be okay for me. So I haven't actually followed Cambria in a while. I mainly only followed her Helping Hand series, but it's because she makes me feel bad because she's so productive and just gets so much done, and like that's great for her. But I watch it. I like watching people like Beth who don't have their shit together like me. And so I'm just like, yeah, I can relate to this. I watch people like Cambria and I'm just like, how are you super. Sorry, I'm looking over there because my TV's over there, by the way. There's nothing on it. I'm just like picturing watching them. Yeah, and I'm just like, you're superwoman and I'm jealous of you, and like wish I could be like that, but I'm not. But then also sometimes I'm like flicking through YouTube and I get overwhelmed by like really busy thumbnails. That's why my thumbnails, they'll have no more than 4 pictures. Usually they'll only have 1 picture and like that one title with the little tiny bit of writing. Because see, when you get, and it's nothing against what they're doing, like totally fine, but for me it doesn't draw me in. It kind of makes me like go, oh no, I can't watch that, because it's just so busy and I'm like not in the mind frame for busy. I don't know if that, I'm just waffling. I don't even know if any of this makes sense. Oh, you've got 700 books. I don't even know how many I've got. I actually donated, I don't know if I've told you guys this story before, but I probably have. I've moved around a lot. Until I bought this house, I moved every 2 years. I just get itchy feet. And that was a good way of me keeping my house clean. Just move every 2 years, because then you have to pack everything up and clean everything. That's probably why I'm struggling now, because I've not moved in 5 years. Anyway, so I've moved around a lot, and I went from a moderately sized house to a very small house and did not have space for my books. And I probably had about 700 books. And I donated 98% of them to the library and just kept my Leslie Pierce books. That was the only books that I kept. No, that's a lie. There was like maybe 5 books that I've had since childhood that I also kept. So yeah, I've only just started collecting books again at the last 2 years, and I don't buy that many. I think, do you know what it is, right? I have been down a Dramini fanfiction rabbit hole for the last 2 years. So I still read the occasional physical book, but mostly I just read fanfiction. And also, there was this web serial that I read called Worm. The best thing I've ever read in my entire life. It was, and it took me over a year to read it because it is so long and so intricate, and just, oh, check it out. I'll see if I can find a link. I don't even know if it's still a thing. It's been a couple of years, but that took me a year to read, and that was all I pretty much read in that time. Yeah. Well, I guess I'm never making it out of that black hole. Harry Potter. So it's fan fiction for Harry Potter, but it's where you ship Draco Malfoy and Hermione Granger together. And before you judge, just read it. Read it, you'll be sucked in, you will understand. See, the problem for me is I can't clean my sink before bed because there's always dishes in my sink. So I wouldn't be able to clean the sink before going to bed. Okay, Danielle, go and eat. I had Chinese for dinner. I was not wanting to cook, and my husband didn't want to cook. And I just got in from doing that clean. And when I was in the bath, I messaged him and says, "Can we get Chinese?" Actually, I didn't. My daughter came into the bathroom and I was like, "Go and tell Daddy we want Chinese for dinner." And she did that. So exactly, Keo, they do. Do you read? I'm assuming you read Dramini then. So what fix do you recommend? I've been reading a work in progress called, it's not The Goblet of Fire because that's the actual book. I think it's called The Goblet of Shadows. I've never actually read any other fan fiction apart from the Harry Potter one. Apart from, there was one Harry Potter Twilight crossover fic that I read, and it was an MM, so it was actually Harry and Jasper. And the way that they crossed it over is obviously in the books, it's Sirius Black. And then in Twilight, you know, Jacob's, is it? No, it's not Jacob. Is it Charlie? No, Charlie Swan. Somebody in Twilight has the surname Black. Cannot remember who it is now. It's totally gone out of my head. Maybe Jacob's family. I think it's Jacob's family have the surname Black. If anybody can corroborate that story. But anyway, so then he, you know, he's got PTSD from the war, so he moves over to America to be with his only other living relatives, which are the Blacks. And then he ends up getting in a relationship with Jasper, which works out because it turns out, this is total spoilers, by the way, Jacob Black, yeah, so it is Jacob's family. It turns out that when he used the resurrection stone and came back to life after Voldemort killed him, then he actually becomes immortal, and he can, because he became the master of death, so he can never die. So then he gets in a relationship with Jasper and they're both immortal, so works out really well. Yeah, odd. So a lot of the fics are after the war, so after they're, you know, like adults. I think there are some that start where they rewrite it so that it starts where they've got like a secret relationship in school and stuff, but I've not really read any of them when they're younger. It's all been when they're older. I think the one that I'm talking about with the Twilight crossover, it's something gold, maybe green and gold, or I don't know. It's something with gold in the title. I have read Akatar. So for anybody that hasn't read that, it's by Sarah J. Maas, and it's short for A Court of Thorns and Roses. Now, I always avoid things when everybody else are like raving about them, so I was late to the party for this. So my tea is way gone cold. So I was late to the party for it. And I started reading the first book and I was like, I do not understand the hype of this. I thought it was slow, it was boring. I just did not like it until about chapter 33. I literally persevered, and I thought it was rubbish. I thought the main character kept getting told not to do things for her own safety and then kept doing those things. I'm like, you're just giving us women a bad name. It was awful. The only thing I liked about it, which I didn't actually realize at the time of starting to read it, but it was like totally Beauty and the Beast. That was the only thing I liked. You know, it was like Belle being captured by the beast and took away to this land. But yeah, but I've never finished the series. Like, so I got into it on chapter 33 or 36, something like that. And then read the second, read the third. I think that's where I'm at. I'm not putting it in the microwave. I refuse. It gets a weird taste when you do that. You know, now, by the way, if I start telling you guys a story and I've told you this story before, just tell me I've told you the story, because I lose track of what I tell people and I tend to repeat myself, right? But when I was younger, my stepdad, like, we first got a microwave for like the first time, and my stepdad offered to make me a cup of tea, which he had never done, ever. Like, he never offered to do anything for me. I was always the one that had to do everything. So anyway, he offered to make me a cup of tea, and I was a bit like, very dubious about this, but okay. Do you know what he did? And I don't think he did it maliciously. I think he just didn't know how the microwave worked. Or maybe he didn't know how to make a cup of tea. He filled a cup with milk, with only milk. Sorry, I've not muted my phone. With only milk and a tea bag, and put it in the microwave. It was the most disgusting thing I've ever drank. There's a whole like comedian like song about making a cup of tea, or maybe it's just a skit. I don't know. Look it up. I don't think I like iced tea. I'm really funny with drinks. There's only like tea is the only hot drink I like. I can't drink any of the other weird, like I don't like coffee or hot chocolate or like the cold drinks that you get. And by cold I mean like cold and flu, not like cold drinks. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah. So your stepmom makes it with just milk in a tea bag. So is that a Spanish thing or just a your stepmom thing? What else is on your bingo card? Is it us asking what a word means? Because put that on there, because that always happens. Right, I'm gonna mute it now. Do you know what's funny is the 2 notifications that have gone off so far have actually been Temu notifications and not from the book chat. And that was just after I told them today, like I can never leave this book chat because my viewers rely on that phone notification. Let me just figure out how to do this. There we go. That's it muted now. Oh, okay. Well, he's never been to Spain, doesn't know anybody that's Spanish. So I don't know where he got that from. Danielle forgets to eat is on there. I know, I always have to bring food for us when we go on cleans. Or we go out for food, like in the middle. I only drink hot coffee and no other hot drinks, and I don't do cold coffee. Do you know, I should create a bingo card for 5 free cleaning and put it up on the community page and say like, oh, see who gets bingo. Danielle's thumbs up in the photos, that could be one. And us complaining about stuff. Somebody commented on the video that we just released saying, you guys complain too much. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. And it's like, we do want to do it, but I replied saying, we're going to keep doing it and we're going to keep complaining about it because doing these free cleans is not all sunshines and rainbows, and we are honest people. Having to explain what a bunker is. Yep. Is anybody in here right now that doesn't know what bunker is? Because I'll tell you if you don't know. I always love it when we say something or somebody else says something and then we find out, that's not a word that everybody knows. And it's only like that we get people from Scotland who say, oh, that's not something we say here, but it's regional. It's not national. Did I get that right? National is like the whole of the country, right? Somebody let me know. Does anybody have any topics of conversation or questions? Hi, Auntie. Yep, having a pretty good day. So I mentioned earlier about my husband playing Pokemon cards. He's totally got me sucked into it. Having to mute the sound because there's music. Yeah, so often we take a radio with us to the cleans and then we listen to music while we're on them. And then in my videos, usually there's people in my house or I'm listening to music or anything like that. So Brett would like to know the origins of calling it a bunker. So it is from when we would have a coal bunker in the kitchen and it would be under the countertop. And so then somebody would say, like, go and put this on top of the bunker, meaning above the coal bunker on the countertop. And then over time, it just became go and put this on the bunker. And then eventually we don't have the coal bunkers in the kitchen anymore. And the countertop is still just called the bunker. So yes, I am so kicking his butt. I forgot what I was talking about there. Yeah, so he's been trying to get me into Pokemon cards for ages. And like he's like a big child. He is so obsessed with them. It's adorable. That's why I have so much Pokemon memorabilia stuff. Anyway, he started going to a club every Friday and then now a tournament every, like, I don't think it's every Saturday. This is how it started, okay? Arthur, my son, doesn't do anything outside of school. He just wants to be on his tech all of the time. And so we're trying to get him to be more social and go out and do things that he might enjoy. So at first we try to find an art class for him, and there aren't any local art classes that are suitable for his age. And the one that I did find that was suitable for his age was rubbish. Like, they were doing stuff that he did like 5-6 years ago, and he hated it. And when he does not like something, you cannot make him do it. Like, he will just like, oh. Anyway, so then we were looking for other things, and I was like, oh, there's a D&D club, but he didn't want to go to the D&D club, which I was a bit miffed because I wanted to go, but I don't want to go by myself. Anyway, and then my husband found the Pokemon club on a Saturday, so he was taking him to that. But again, he was so excited to start. My husband bought all the cards, they went along to it, and he just got bored within 10 minutes. And then he kind of then ruined it a little bit because he just was like, oh, can we go now? Can we go now? And it's like, just give it a try. Like, just, I feel like if he was just to try something a few times, he would get into it and he would like it, but he didn't. This is too cold now. Wait there. My table is filled with too much stuff that I'm so scared I'm gonna like spill a cup of tea or something all over everything. Anyway, so then my husband just now started going by himself and loves it. Like, he feels like a big kid again. But he also plays it on his phone. Like, there's an online app version of it. And so it's a strategy game, because I thought it was just, the way our old cards were, where you traded them, or hands itchy. You traded them, or you try to knock each other out, that kind of thing. But no, it's a whole like playing field now. You've got item cards, supporter cards. Like, it's a strategy game, and I like strategy games. So he was like, just give it a shot, you would like it. And eventually I was just like, his enthusiasm made me want to play. Like, this is a side note, he is training to do a charity obstacle course thing called Tough Mudder in June, and he's raising money for kidney research. So I might put the donation link up at some point for you guys if anybody wants to donate. But anyway, so he was being training to do that. And he was when he first started doing the training, he was so enthusiastic that even I was like, oh my God, I want to do this. And then I watched a video on it and I was like, I cannot do that. But his enthusiasm, because he was like going running, he was going to the gym, he was talking about it all the time, he was like buying the clothes he needed, he was proper like getting into it. And he was just so happy and hyped and all of that. And I was like, yes, I'm loving this. Like, it rubs off on you. It's like, okay, we're going to do this together. Watch the video. Definitely cannot do that at all, not even slightly. Like, you have to run, you have to go into mud, you have to climb up high, all things I can't do because I don't like getting wet face. I can't go up high because I'm scared of heights, and I can't run to save my life. So, not to mention the stamina and strength and all that stuff, I can't do it. But I forgot I couldn't do it and was just like, yes, like, let's do this. So it was the same with the Pokemon cards, because he gets so enthusiastic and he talks about it all the time, and it just shines light. And it's like, yes, I want involved. I want to be part of this. Come on, let's do it. Anyway, so now I've been playing Pokemon cards and kicking his butt most of the time. I say most of the time. It's about 50-50 now. But whenever like, he has a solid deck that he plays all the time. Sorry if anybody's not interested in Pokemon cards, by the way. Like, this has been a long side note. Anyway, he's been building like a deck that he knows how to play, whereas I'm just like, give me a random deck. I like the challenge of like not knowing what I'm walking into and just doing it. I would say more than 50% of the time I've been winning. Anyway, catch up on the comments now after that little Pokemon side quest. Yeah, Brett. So the bunker thing, there is a reason. But do you know what? I didn't know the reason until people started questioning why we call it bunkers. And then we were like, let's go and find out. Yeah, odd. I had no idea that the Pokemon cards were a thing. Turns out they are. Thanks, Bonnie. Oh yeah, that's a good idea, using a travel mug. But I just have to throw out travel mugs, and it's so wasteful because I'll keep leaving them in my car for far too long. And then I'm just like, nope, not dealing with that. Hi, Deborah. Better late than never, as they say. You're not missing much. We're actual talking rubbish. Okay, so I'm going to give out the membership things because I figured out how to do it last time. That's what I'm doing now. Gift 5 now. Let's see if it works immediately or if it glitches like it did last time. Oh, it's working. Who's getting them? Deborah got one. Rave got one. Melanie got one. Michelle and is it Lisa? Hi, Sue. To be honest, Lena, I honestly don't get like takeaway drinks that often because I don't drink coffee, and tea from coffee shops usually doesn't taste that great. The only time I really get tea is, I want to say Greg's is probably one of the only places that I get tea from. Do you know what I recently discovered that I liked? And it was actually Madison that made the discovery. What's it called? A salted caramel frappe, which doesn't have coffee in it, and it's basically like a frozen caramel milkshake. So nice. That's from Costa. It's from Costa. Right, so I gave 5 memberships. I can do another 5. Wait there, let me do that. I kind of realised it's the end of the month and they're going to reset in a few days, and I was like, oh, I've not done anything. I've still not given the members anything. But here's the thing. I have a free week. Like I only have something on Wednesday. My classes for uni have finished now. Not that I actually went to any of them this half of the semester. Like I have not made it to uni in about 3 weeks. But I can watch the stuff online. Keo, so where I have gifted the memberships, if you click that, there should be like at the top, there'll be a little present from where I gifted them. If you click that, it should give you an option to receive gifts. Oh, what did I do there? Oh no. You made me glitch it out. Now I don't know how to fix it. Okay, I'm refreshing the page. My chat has disappeared. Live chat. It's broken. Bear with me while I have technical difficulties. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. My chat is not coming up. It's gone. I don't know how to view my chat now. What happened? I even closed down YouTube and reopened it. Aha! It just took a minute. It's back. Okay. That was probably not as exciting for you guys as it was for me. Okay. Where was I at? So who else got memberships? Oh no, Five Free Cleaning got a membership. Oh, that was an oversight. Oh well, Danielle can watch my videos now when I post them. Oh, that's what I was saying. I basically have. So Keo, I tried to teach Beth, and Mac tried to teach. After my last live where I gifted you guys, I was talking to Beth on Instagram. She immediately went live so she could figure it out. And for some reason, hers doesn't have the option. Like, Mac managed to do it, and she did everything I did, and it still didn't work. Anyway, I have a free week pretty much because I'm only busy on Wednesday. And then Danielle has a free week, so she's planning on coming around a lot. And I'm going to make a members only video. Not with Danielle, that was irrelevant, but the members only video is going to be like the super gross things in my house that I need clean because there's quite a few. Yeah, so I've gifted all 10. Lucky Amy is having dinner that her husband made. Enjoy. Do you mean a Yeti? What's a Yeti? What were we talking about a Yeti? Oh, do I know what a netty is? Nope, I don't think I do. Yeah, so that's me giving all 10 because they're going to reset on the 1st anyway. Oh, it's a word that we Geordies use for something. Okay, I have no idea what it is. Somebody tell me. She's unteachable. Yeah. Didn't see any present box, by the way, so I don't know. Okay, try clicking the dollar sign at the bottom and seeing if that lets you do it. Nothing is going to top that couch clean out. Well, okay, so full disclosure, my washing machine is so gross. Like, so gross. I shouldn't be washing clothes in it. Like, I don't know how the clothes are getting clean because the machine needs cleaned out. And every single time that I put a load in, I'm like, oh, I really need to clean this machine. And then I just don't do it. And I just put on the load of washing anyway. So that's a very gross area that needs done. That drain thing in my bath, that, well, no, because I accepted a free membership on somebody else's channel when I was on my phone, so that shouldn't be the issue, but I don't know. You'll have to Google it because I suck at explaining. Anyway, oh, bye Petra. Have a good night. Yeah, so the drain, that circle thing, if you watch the clean of my bath, and I was like, oh, this, I didn't know this thing popped off, and when I was cleaning it, it popped off, and it was so bad, I cut it out of the thing and put it back and didn't clean it. So we have to do that. And then what else? We have to move my sofa. That's something I can do when Danielle comes because I can't move it by myself because it's like there must be sticky pads on the bottom of the legs and it makes it impossible for one person to move. Although Madison also said she would help me move it. So we'll see. So behind the sofa, you thought under the cushions was bad. I feel like I'm bragging about how bad things are, but no, it just, if you don't laugh, you cry, right? So anyway, so that's, so the washing machine, the drain, the like behind and under the sofa, there are more places. I have a mold problem in my bedroom, but that might need to be like a whole video on its own. One of the things I'm going to get that handyman to do is to remove the wallpaper off 2 of those walls. The problem is I want to redecorate the whole room, but the wardrobe in my room cannot be moved at all. So I'm just going to remove all the paper except for where the wardrobe is, kind of. But then I can't, it's a thing. I'll get to it. Anyway, so need to tackle that. There are more gross areas. I'm just probably blocking them out of my mind because they're so bad. My microwave is pretty gross. My fridge, the problem with the fridge is that it's broken. So I need to defrost it, which I'm a family of 6. My fridge is never empty. It's impossible to defrost. So how am I meant to clean it? I can probably partially clean it. And that's something Danielle can do. I need her to reverse the way that my fridge opens. It annoys her every time she's here and she opens my fridge the way it already currently opens. She needs to fix it because she's DIY and I'm not. Okay. Bye, Lena. Thanks for joining. Oh, have I got top chat on again now that I left live chat? Oh, what kind of tea do I like? So I like normal English breakfast tea and I like green tea, and that's about it. I am quite fussy when it comes to drinks. I don't like flavoured herbal teas like lemon. That's the only one that comes to mind, but there's millions of them. I kind of went on a rant about what in my house is dirty and I forgot what I was originally talking about. Oh yeah, so because I didn't release a video today, the plan is finish the video that I started that was going to be released today, and the plan is to do that tomorrow and then release that video for you guys tomorrow. So you'll still get a video. It's just technically next week. So you'll get that tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, you'll have a normal video. Don't know what we're doing yet. Might do something with Danielle. Don't know. Might do something with a handyman if he books me in quite quickly. Anyway, so you'll get your Wednesday video. My plan, because I'm going to have so much free time, hopefully, and I'm feeling quite good at the minute, is to do that deep cleaning video and release that for the members, because all the members that got gifted a membership last time have not had anything for their money. Technically, it's not their money, but they've not had anything yet. And the members that have paid haven't had anything yet. So I'm hoping to release that before the end of the month while their memberships are still active. And then that means all you new members as well will get to see that. So that video should be released. I don't know when the end of the month is, but it's this week at some point, I think. So maybe Wednesday, there'll be 2 videos released, or maybe it'll be Thursday or Friday. Who knows? It'll be this week, definitely. That's the plan. And then I'm not doing another free clean until next Sunday. So I should be able to do a video as normal to release on the Sunday. So that's kind of where we're at. What I really want to do is to get ahead of the cleaning so I can get some back footage, so that on the times that I am struggling, like what this week has been like, then I have footage to release and I'm not putting so much pressure on myself to get it done. But the whole point of starting this channel was to put pressure on myself to make sure it gets done. So I don't know. Plus, I feel like usually when I do the voiceover, it's on the day that I'm releasing the video or the day before. And it kind of gives you a snapshot of like where I am in the moment. Okay, so if Thursday is the 1st, I'm going to have to release 2 videos on Wednesday. A members only video and a normal video. Or maybe I'll release the members only video and I'll go live. Who knows? Although it's funny because whenever I'm about to go live, I'm like, I don't have anything to talk about. So I need you guys to be like talking with me like you have been doing today. So yeah, it is a catch-22 because I like to, like I say, it's kind of like giving you a snapshot, and it's for all those people out there that can't get everything done. And so in that moment, it's like, okay, well, this is all I managed to get done. But then I feel like I'm like half-assing it. Like, for example, just take Beth's videos, for example. She also struggles to get stuff done, but she'll still record 6 hours of footage and then cut it down into the 40-minute video that she releases for you guys. And I'm just like, okay, I managed to do an hour today, if that. So like, here's an hour that's barely edited with a rambly voiceover. Just feel like I'm just doing the minimum, but it's working. So that's the way I do it, I guess. At some point, I'll have my life all together and I'll be like, okay, this is what you need to do to get to this point in life. But we'll see. That'll be like when my kids are all old. Oh, so has Cambria started her Helping Hand series again? Because I have been waiting for that. Yeah, so not having a huge place is like a blessing and a curse. I like that saying, by the way, if you have not figured it out. I feel like the bigger my house would be, the messier it would get. But then also because it's small, it's like everything's crammed in. There's no winning. True, 5 of those hours might be her just going about. Having your life together is overrated. I don't actually know anybody that has their life together. Yeah, I'm gonna need to check out Cambria's video because I am still subscribed to her, and occasionally I'll just put a video on so that it plays so she gets the views. But I can't remember the last time I actually watched one of her videos. I'm trying to think because there was one fairly recently and she cleaned cookie sheets. Now, when I say recently, that could be as far away as 3 months ago. But yeah, what's a pretty lie? Oh, the life together thing. Can you guys hear my neighbours? Oh, I thought people were arguing. I'm so nosy. Our houses, and I'll show you. Somebody asked to see like my outdoors areas, and I felt so called out because my outdoors areas are really bad. I need a gardener or something. Like I can't do gardening. Anyway, when I show you the outdoors areas, I'll show you how close houses are to me because the houses are like, I don't even know how, I'm not very good with distances, so I can't even describe how close they are. But you've got my house, you've got my garden, which is not very big, and then you've probably got a space not like half the width of this room, right? Not the length, half of the width. And then the next person's garden is like opposite me, and then their house. So it's really not that far. And then I've got a house attached either side. But then where my house is, we've got loads of houses like diagonal down there, and then diagonally that way. And then out the back, there's like houses right in front of me as well. So literally from any window in my house, you can see at least 7 or 8 other houses. That's how close we all are together. Hi, Rave. Yep, you got a membership for free. So you're very welcome. Can you hit your neighbour with a rock or see in their windows? Yes, yes, we can. That's how close we are. And like the house opposite me, it's a young boy, the same age as my oldest son, Arthur, who whose bedroom is like opposite my bedroom. So I always have to like be super aware that I shut my window, my curtains, like when I'm getting like into bed and stuff. What is it? Steph is like, I'm in uni and have 4 kids and a spouse and run 2 YouTube channels and do life stuff outside of that too. Why can't I keep house? Yeah, that's just the way my brain works though. And the thing is, if I wasn't doing all of that stuff, I'd be doing nothing. Like there's no in between. That's too close unless you're meant to be shit. Yeah, they're so close. That's why me and Danielle were like, what's the word when you're trying to make something happen? You're like putting energy out into the universe. Manifesting. She's really big on manifesting. So we are manifesting that we're gonna get our bit of land and build a big house. And I said to her, I was like, we don't need to wait till we have the money for the house, just until we have enough money for the land, and then we can just chuck a couple of caravans on there and then live on the land until we have the money for the big house. That's the plan eventually. And we said the goal is to do that by the time we're 40. So I'm 32. So she's only going to be 30 this year. Wait a minute. Oh, I thought I was only a year older than her. Am I 32? Yes. Yes, I am. By the way, by the time you hit 30, forget how old you are. I'm 32. She's about to be 30 because that's why we're going on holiday together for her 30th. So do we have 8 years or do we have 10 years until we're 40? Maybe we'll go with her 40, not my 40. Either way, we're going to get there. We're manifesting it. What did Odd say? I have my life together every rainbow moon on the 37th day of the 13th. All or nothing mentality is harsh to those who live with it. 100%, because, and it's funny because people always say to me like, oh, how do you do all of that? And it's like, I don't. That's the problem. There's too many plates to juggle. Like something always suffers. Usually it's my house. Sometimes it's my body. Hobbits don't come of age until 33, so by that standard, you're still a child. Oh, I like that. I already forget everything, Dawn. I used to have such a good memory. It was like near photographic. Like I could, so this is probably why, like I did really well in school, okay? But the reason is because when I studied for tests, like I just test really well, but it's not so much now. But back then, it's because I literally, when it came to answering a question on the test paper, I could then, in my mind, read the paragraph in the book that I studied from to answer the question. Like literally, like read the paragraph. It's practically photographic. It's not now. It's terrible now. I don't know what happened. I grew up, I guess. Yeah, so I was saying earlier, like my shoulder is way better, but it's still not great. But I've not been taking as much pain medication, just kind of ibuprofen again. And then like a codeine either in the morning or at night. Like I don't want to be addicted to pain medication. So I literally only take it if I'm like really, really struggling, which like last week I was really struggling. Normally I don't even go to the doctors. But yeah, it's way better now. I still can't like hold it up that like high for a long period of time, and I've still not been able to use it when we've been doing the free cleans. I like start using it and then I'm like, okay. But today we did that free clean, and the only time I wasn't using it, but the only time it was actually hurting me was changing the boy's bedding, because his duvet was so heavy. And my friend used to work in a Premier Inn, and she'd have to change multiple beds a day, and I'm just like, her arm muscles must have been like so strong. I nearly always need a calculator for my age. I've never been good at mental arithmetic. My husband's really good at mental arithmetic because he used to work in a shop, like as a retail manager person. Hi, Tippy. Yeah, his chickenpox is getting better. He's going back to school tomorrow. Thank God, by the way, because I love him, but it's been a lot having him at home. The meltdowns that he has, like, he is often harder to deal with. Like, I'm whispering even though he's sleeping, and I feel bad saying this, but obviously Arthur has been assessed for autism. Is it next week? Feel like it might be next week if this week is the 1st, so it must be next week. Anyway, he's been assessed next week, but the meltdowns that Kai has, way harder to deal with than Arthur, because there's no reasoning with him at all. Like it's like he doesn't process what you tell him, and I've just, because he's been home, don't get me wrong, it's been great. We've been watching anime, we've been playing computer games. That's probably one of the reasons I've not got this video ready for you guys, because I've been hanging out with Kai all week. But yeah, I'm so ready for some alone time, 100%. Shannon, your shoulder going out was the first physical sign of fibromyalgia for you. Yeah, so I wouldn't say, so I don't know if I have fibromyalgia, because the nurse, so basically, she didn't bring it up until I brought up what you guys had all said. And then she was like, yeah, that's all your symptoms. That would explain it. But she said she would like note it on my file, but I don't think that was an actual diagnosis. And then I was like, okay, well, because she says even if it is that, the treatment like the exercises that she gave me, I've still not done them, by the way, but the exercises that she gave me, she says they would also help with that anyway. So I was like, so if I do these exercises and then it feels better, how do we know if it was just because of hypermobility, or how do we know if it was the fibromyalgia? And she says, well, we don't know. So I don't actually know, but I've got an appointment next week. I've got an appointment next week, but it's back with that trainee doctor. So I don't know. I'll bring it up to him about the rheumatologist again and see what he says. But yeah, guess we're still looking for answers. I don't pay enough attention to my age, so I use an age calculator on Google. The thing is, my husband is the same age as me, so I feel like he would be able to keep track better than me, and I'll just ask him. You have 2 grandsons with autism and 1 is nonverbal. So I've worked with like so many people with like physical disabilities and neurodivergence and stuff. So I have like all the experience of it. But when it's your kids, it's always like, okay, so is this just kids being kids, or is there something going on here? And I always feel like a hypochondriac when I'm like diagnosing my kids and then going to the doctors and be like, test them for this and stuff. Keo, his meltdowns are just like, I'm actually thinking, you know, so with Kai, he had a learning delay. Like, he created his own language when he was younger. He didn't speak. He had like this whole language that made no sense, right? So as an example, an apple was a cowhey, right? His, like, if he was thirsty or wanted juice, it was yasu. Now that kind of has a reason to it, okay? Because he used to have a dinosaur bottle and he couldn't say dinosaur and he couldn't say juice. So he would go, it would be yasu because it's like a dinosaur ra and juice was su, so yasu. But that's what he would say if he was like thirsty or needed, like wanted his bottle or something like that. But then he would call his sister Madison D. Okay. And what else? It's hard to remember now. I've got it in my phone. Like, I've got a note of it in my phone because when he moved from nursery to primary school, the teachers couldn't understand him. They asked me to write them a dictionary so that they could know what he was saying. So like, what was it? What else would he say? Instead of saying okay, he would say Adam. That was his okay. And like, I can't even remember. I would need to look it up on my phone, which I'm using to record. But anyway, so he created this whole new language himself, like when he was learning to talk. And we didn't get any support for it because this was all during COVID. And then he went to primary school and he's in P4 now. And so the way our primary school works, you've got P1, P2, P3, P4. So you start in P1 and he's in P4 now. But he's still kind of reading and write. I think his writing's quite good. But he's still reading and understanding at like a P1, P2 level. So he's a couple of years behind. Now, I've always thought, you know, this learning disorder, like this learning delay was because of that language setback. But I mean, he still does not talk properly. I don't know if it came across when he was talking in the video the last time, but yeah, he still doesn't, like, he's got a sister called Ruby on his dad's side, and he can't say Ruby. He says Ubi. Like, he doesn't say the R. But anyway, and he's so emotional. So like the meltdowns that he's been having have been for no reason. So for example, he was sitting playing a computer game and his sister Lily, who's 4 years younger, picked up something that was his. And so he ran over to her and took it off her and shouted at her, right? And I was like, Kai, we don't do that. You're not using that. She can play with it. But his argument was, she didn't ask. Okay, fair enough. But he didn't understand that she doesn't know that she needs to ask that kind of thing. Like, she's seen that toy there, it wasn't being played with, she wanted to play with it. It's like he couldn't, it didn't matter how much I reasoned with him, he didn't understand that she didn't know that she had to ask, because that's what he thinks she should have done. So he didn't understand that she didn't think like that, so he couldn't understand her perspective. But then when I was reasoning with him, he just kept saying, she didn't ask, she didn't ask. And by this point, he's like screaming at me and crying, and it was a whole thing. And like, I'm remaining calm during this. And I'm just like, in the end, I was like, Kai, do you like being shouted at? He was like, no. I was like, okay. And do you think if I was to shout at you that you need to ask me something, you would do that? Or do you think if you calmly tell Lily, you can play with it this time, but next time you need to ask, that she might learn to do that? And so eventually, like after going over and over for ages, he got it. So that's one example. And then I think I mentioned in the 5 free cleaning video yesterday about when I was on the phone the other day. And I stopped telling the story because Arthur interrupted and proved my point. But it was with Kai, and I was on the phone to Charlene from Charlene and Clean. Sorry, little plug there for Charlene. Go check out her videos. And it was a video call, and he came over and he'd bought sweets. Yeah, I'd bought him sweets earlier that day, and he hadn't asked for them all day. And then his sister had come home from school, and he asked me when I was on the phone, can I get my sweets now? And I said, you can get them now, but you'll have to share them with Lily because she doesn't have a sweet. You need to share. It's a big packet. And he was like, I don't want to share. I was like, well, then you'll have to wait till tomorrow when she's at school again, because that's not fair for you to have sweets and for her not to have sweets. And he wasn't getting it. He just kept asking me the same question over and over and over. And it got to a point when I was just like, Kai, you're not getting the sweets unless you share them. And he took himself upstairs and cried. And I had to end the phone call. And he did not calm down. And he does this multiple times a week for small random things. And it's like, he will ask the same things over and over and over again. And it doesn't matter how you answer. Even sometimes if you give him the answer he wants, it's like he doesn't process the answer. And then he just keeps going, and it is so emotionally exhausting. Like, so emotionally exhausting. So I have no idea what any of you have been saying. I was lost in the moment. Okay. Sorry, I'm just reading the comments. You guys talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Oh, what did I do? Hi, Deborah, if you're still here. My hands are so sweaty, it's hard to scroll. That's always the case. What's the glitter ball thing? So the thing about him like crying about that, right, was then I want to say 2 days ago, he was lying on the sofa with Lily's pillow and Lily's blanket, and he never asked her, and she came in and she wanted them. Now, you've seen how many blankets we've got millions of blankets. And so I was just like, just let her have her blanket and you get a different one. He had a full-blown meltdown, and in the end Lily had to be the bigger person and be like, okay, yeah, I'll get another blanket, that's fine, Kai can have it. So yeah, so it's not like he has this rule and you have to stick to it. It's like he just pick something in the moment and then that's it. Okay, I'll try that with the sand timer because that sounds like a good idea. Yeah, I've tried waiting until the emotions have calmed down, but the problem is he gets so worked up to the point he will literally cry for an hour. See, if I was just to leave him to calm down, he would go up to his room, into his bed, and just cry for an hour. Like that's the longest I've just left him to calm down, and never doing that again because I felt awful. But yeah. Oh, good luck with your Mensa test, Simon. That's exciting. Yeah, so I'm just winging it with Kai, and I think maybe being back at school will help because he's definitely had more meltdowns this week. But yeah, even his dad was on the phone to me the other day, and he was like, "Kai's really emotional, eh?" And I was like, "This is what I've been trying to tell you." He was at a birthday party today with Lily, and it was Lily's friend's birthday party, but they had a spare space, so he got to go as well. And he got put out for musical statues. And so when he got back from the party and he came in and spoke to me, well, when he got in the house, he didn't sound okay. And I was up in the bath and I called down and I was like, first of all, checking who came into my house because I hadn't locked the door. And I was like, "Oh, is that you, babe?" And it wasn't my husband, it was Kai. And he was like, "Oh, it's me." And just from those two words, "it's me," I was like, something's wrong. So I was just like, "You okay, Kai?" And he was like, "No." So he came upstairs and I was like, "Oh, what's happened?" Like, I was like, "Did you not have fun at the party?" And no. So what happened was he got put out playing musical statues, and that ruined the whole thing for him. Like he was basically sulking for like an hour and a half after that, to the point where the whole party was ruined. Sorry, Keo. When I said about the emotions and him calming down, I think I was replying to somebody else that was also talking to me. I think it was Rave. Yeah, that response was to Rave. Um, the thing with the breathing is I do that with Lily. Like when she hurts herself, I'm like, okay, come over here. I'm like, okay, let's take a breath. And she's so good at like regulating her emotions. So I'll need to try the breathing thing with Kai. I think I have tried it and it didn't work, but I'll keep on trying it because what's happening is not working. No, sorry, Hemlock Squid, I don't think I actually know your name. It's that I don't think that's the issue because he's like that with everybody. Those were just the most recent examples that I gave was with Lily. Um, and I think I had replied to somebody's comment on my last video, but if people don't read the comments, then they'll not know this. But the reason that Kai and Lily share a room is because the age difference between Madison and Lily is just hi Levi. I like that name. That's my friend's son's name. Yeah, the age difference between Madison and Lily is like nearly 10 years. And I just feel like that's too big of an age gap. Madison's at an age where she really needs her privacy. And also she has like some dangerous things like cosmetics and stuff like that Lily would 100% get into because she's a curious 4-year-old who loves makeup and all that stuff. So they can't really share together. But then also Arthur needs his own room. Arthur and Kai used to share. For years they shared. In our last house they shared a room. And that was fine when they were younger. But when we moved into this house, they were in the same room and did not work. Arthur definitely needs a space where he can go and like regulate his emotions. I think the thing is, right, when Kai has a meltdown, he gets really, really upset. But when Arthur has a meltdown, he does get upset, but he gets angry. And that's why he needs to have his own space. And him and Kai just butt heads like a lot. So yeah, they cannot share a room. So that's kind of why it is the way it is right now. We're going to reevaluate it in the future because at some point Kai might need his own room for medical reasons as well. So who knows? Yeah, Keo. So that's what I'm hoping it is. There's been more meltdowns this week because his routine's been disrupted. So I'm hoping once he's back at school, then that'll hopefully be fine. It's scary how much you relate to my child. Okay. Yeah, I might try. Do you know, I bought Arthur like these books to help him regulate his emotions and understand emotions and express them. And I found them. Sorry, I've got an itchy eye. I found them when I was sorting out his room the other day. So I think they're aimed at quite young children. So I'll maybe go through them with Kai and see if that helps. But yeah, so do I just make a glitter bottle? Do I buy a glitter bottle? Like, do you know, Sue, you say it's no wonder that I'm studying psychology, right? And I am quite interested in, neurodivergence and stuff. And I'm quite interested more so now in, like motivation and how people's houses can get on top of them and the psychology behind that. And so I'm kind of looking into that. But one of the main reasons that I really got into psychology is so I always wanted to be a lawyer. That was what I wanted to be. I was taking all the classes that I would need to do that to get to uni and all that stuff. And then when I was doing my GCSEs, my school did psychology classes. And so I did that and I went into the class and it was my favorite teacher. He was my biology teacher. So I had already had him previously. And I went in and he taught the first ever psychology class I'd been in. And one of the first things that we learned about was to do with dopamine and serotonin, which are obviously hormones and stuff in your brain. And it was to do with addiction now. And it kind of explained why people who take drugs and alcohol, when they don't get that, why they act the way that they do. Now, half of my family are alcoholics and the other half of my family are drug addicts. And then there's a couple of us that aren't either. And then there's a couple who are both. So that psychology lesson just really like hit home for me because I hadn't really understood like why my family were like the way that they were. And then coming out of that lesson, I was like, oh my God, like that just explained so much in such a short period of time that's why I then wanted to do psychology. Like, so that very first lesson, I was like, this is what I want to do with my life. And the thing is, I don't even know what I want to do with it. I just like studying it. So yeah. Anyway, I feel like we've been talking a long time. Yeah, you have to follow your passion. So anyway, thank you so much for joining my ramblings. I always think, oh, I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but then once I'm very chatty once I start. So, and you guys are very good at keeping the conversation going. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this one. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. So look out for the videos. There should be one tomorrow, 2 on Wednesday, and then the usual one on Sunday. Or maybe there'll be 1 members on Wednesday and 1 live. Who knows? But yeah, thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.